In a world where kindness is often taken for granted, some people feel they must transform into something fierce and fearsome. The idea of becoming a monster can be a powerful way to gain respect and protect oneself. For many, this path starts as a defense mechanism. When someone feels weak or vulnerable, they might believe that showing strength through a monstrous persona will keep others at bay. This transformation can appear appealing because monsters are often feared and rarely challenged. It's as if adopting this fearsome identity brings a cloak of power, shielding the person from harm. Yet, this shift isn't always straightforward. It carries weighty consequences. While becoming a monster could provide safety, it may also isolate individuals from those who once cared for them. As we delve deeper into this concept, we'll discover how this choice shapes lives, relationships, and self-perception. What does it truly mean to embrace such darkness, and at what cost? The journey begins with understanding these motivations and their impact on the individual's soul. Meet Alex, a quiet and kind-hearted teenager who has always felt different from their peers. Growing up in a small town, Alex was frequently bullied for being sensitive and creative. The taunts and sneers left deep scars, making it difficult for them to trust others. As they faced constant rejection, Alex began to believe that the only way to gain respect was to become someone fierce, someone others would fear instead of tease. At home, things weren't much better. Parents, consumed by their own struggles, often overlooked Alex's feelings, leaving them feeling invisible. In search of comfort, they turned to stories of mythical creatures and monsters, characters who wielded power through fear. Gradually, these tales became a refuge where Alex could escape their pain and imagine becoming something greater than themselves. Determined to change their fate, Alex started to embrace this darker persona in secret, believing that if they could channel the strength of a monster, no one would ever dare to hurt them again. Little did they know that this journey would lead to unexpected challenges and choices ahead. One gloomy afternoon, the turning point arrived. Alex was walking home from school, their head down, trying to ignore the whispers and laughter that followed them. Suddenly, a group of classmates blocked their path, eyes gleaming with mischief. They began to taunt Alex again, this time crossing a line by mocking a personal tragedy, one that had deeply affected Alex's family. Feeling a rush of sadness and anger, Alex's heart raced. Instead of fading away, an unexpected surge of emotion ignited something inside them. They remembered the stories of monsters who fought back against their tormentors. In that moment, a powerful resolve took hold. If they could become like those creatures, they would never have to feel this way again. With clenched fists and a fierce glare, Alex pushed past the group, surprising them with newfound confidence. This incident marked the beginning of their transformation into something more monstrous, both in appearance and attitude. As they walked away, they felt a mix of triumph and fear about what they were becoming. As days turned into weeks, Alex's transformation began to take shape. They started dressing in darker clothing, black hoodies and ripped jeans that seemed to cloak them in shadows. This new style reflected the fierce persona they were adopting, and each day, they felt a little more powerful. Their once soft features hardened into a steely gaze that sent a clear message: "Don't mess with me." Emotionally, Alex became less sensitive and more guarded. They would often respond to others with dry humor or sarcastic remarks, pushing people away rather than inviting connection. Inside, however, a battle raged between the fear of vulnerability and the desire for acceptance. The anger that fueled their new identity also left them feeling isolated, as friends who once cared began to drift away. Yet, with each encounter where they stood tall and unyielding against bullies, an exhilarating sense of strength washed over them. Alex found solace in this newfound power, but struggled to reconcile it with the lingering longing for the warmth of genuine relationships. As Alex's transformation became evident, reactions from those around them varied greatly. Friends who once admired their creativity now looked on with uncertainty, whispering behind Alex's back about the sudden shift in attitude and appearance. Some felt a mix of fear and respect. They recognized the change and were wary of provoking someone who now seemed so fierce. Family members were concerned, but unsure how to approach Alex. Their parents noticed the darker mood and distant demeanor, but they didn't know how to reach out without triggering more anger or rejection. Meanwhile, former bullies began to tread lightly around Alex, sensing that this new identity had brought with it a formidable presence that was hard to challenge. In school hallways, whispers of admiration mingled with caution. Some classmates viewed Alex as a protector, while others still clung to old grudges. This new dynamic both thrilled and frightened Alex, who was beginning to grasp the power that fear can wield. But at what cost? The longing for true connection became ever more poignant amidst the chaos of their transformation. As Alex settled into their new role as a feared figure, they quickly discovered that power came with heavy burdens. While the fear they inspired kept most bullies at bay, it also built a wall around them, leaving Alex feeling increasingly isolated. Friends who once laughed and shared secrets now kept their distance, unsure how to approach someone who seemed so different and intimidating. Loneliness wrapped around Alex like a thick fog, making their heart ache for the companionship they had lost. They often found themselves sitting alone during lunch, watching others connect and share moments of joy. Misunderstood by those who had once cared, Alex grappled with the inner conflict of wanting to be seen as strong while yearning for acceptance and warmth. This emotional turmoil led to restless nights filled with doubt. Was this monstrous persona truly who they wanted to be? As Alex faced the mirror each day, the reflection stared back with fierce determination. Yet behind that fierce facade lay a vulnerable soul longing for understanding amidst the shadows they had chosen to inhabit. As the days passed, moments of doubt crept into Alex's thoughts like shadows, whispering reminders of their previous self. In quiet moments, when the weight of loneliness grew heavy, Alex found themselves reminiscing about simpler times filled with laughter and friends. One afternoon, as they walked alone through the school halls, they spotted a group of classmates sharing smiles and warmth. A pang of longing stirred within them. It felt as though a door to happiness had closed tight, and Alex began to question whether becoming a monster was truly the answer. During restless nights, visions of their former self danced in their mind. An innocent teenager who found joy in small things. The fierce facade weighed heavily on Alex, making them wonder if accepting vulnerability was worth the fear of being hurt again. They recalled times when kindness had sparked light in dull moments, realizing that strength did not always mean facing the world with anger. Deep down, Alex yearned for connection, but wrestled with the fear that showed their softer side would invite more pain. One afternoon, as Alex wandered through the park, they unexpectedly encountered Jamie, an old friend from their past. Jamie's face lit up with recognition, but then quickly fell into confusion and concern at the sight of Alex's dark attire and hardened expression. Memories flooded back, soft laughter shared over ice cream, and carefree days spent biking through the streets. "What happened to you?" Jamie asked softly, hurt coloring their voice. This question pierced through Alex's tough exterior, forcing them to confront the changes they had undergone. The tension hung thick in the air as Jamie stepped closer, eyes searching for the kind-hearted friend they once knew. In that moment, Alex felt a rush of conflicting emotions, anger at themselves for changing and a deep yearning for the connection they had lost. "I had to become strong," Alex replied defensively, their voice shaky. Jamie's expression shifted from concern to understanding as they took a step back, leaving Alex standing alone once more. This confrontation forced Alex to reflect on who they had become and whether that person was truly who they wanted to be. In the days that followed the encounter with Jamie, Alex found themselves at a crossroads between fear and connection. The allure of their monstrous persona was undeniable. It provided a protective barrier against hurt and rejection. Yet, as they watched others share laughter and warmth, that barrier felt like a cage, isolating them from the joy of true friendship. Every time they put on the dark clothing and adopted their fierce expression, Alex felt a pang of loss for the person they used to be, the one who smiled easily and trusted others. The idea of returning to vulnerability filled them with dread, as memories of past bullying haunted their thoughts. Could they really risk being hurt again? Yet there was also a flicker of hope, a yearning for genuine relationships that could bring light back into their life. Each night, Alex wrestled with this choice. Should they maintain the safety of their monstrous image or dare to lower their guard and seek connection? The struggle within them grew stronger as they realized that perhaps true strength lay in embracing both sides, the monster and the friend. After much reflection, Alex began to understand that being a monster didn't have to mean sacrificing their humanity. They realized that true strength comes not only from projecting fear, but also from showing compassion and vulnerability. One day, while sitting in the park, Alex decided to take a step forward by reaching out to Jamie again. They sent a text, inviting Jamie to meet up and talk things over. When they met, Alex shared their struggles and fears, revealing the internal battle between their monstrous persona and their desire for connection. To their surprise, Jamie listened without judgment and even offered support, reminding Alex of the kind-hearted friend they once were. This moment of honesty marked a turning point for Alex. They began to embrace both sides of themselves, the fierce protector and the compassionate friend. By accepting their complexities, Alex found balance. They could be strong without shutting others out. As they walked home that day, a weight lifted from their shoulders, replaced by hope for genuine connections that allowed them to be fully themselves. As Alex continued to navigate their journey, they reflected on the distinction between being feared and being loved. While fear can command respect and deter threats, it often creates walls that keep others at a distance. In contrast, love builds bridges, fostering connections that bring warmth and understanding. Alex realized that no amount of power derived from fear could fill the void left by true companionship. The strength they had sought through their monstrous persona felt hollow at times, overshadowed by loneliness and misunderstanding. Embracing vulnerability allowed Alex to reconnect with the essence of who they were, a person capable of both compassion and resilience. They learned that showing kindness didn't equate to weakness. Instead, it cultivated deeper bonds that enriched their life. In the end, Alex's journey symbolizes a vital lesson. True power lies not in instilling fear, but in embracing one's authentic self, with all its complexities. By balancing their fierce spirit with compassion, Alex found that vulnerability can lead to genuine love and acceptance, creating a life filled with meaningful connections rather than isolation.